Why is the music playing? Hold on. Hey, y'all. Okay. Hey, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Uh, hey, Jessica. I'm gonna get you on. Um, and I think Joseph's coming in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. While I'm pulling Jessica in, let me see if I can get her. Did I lose my IG? Okay. And Joseph should be on in a sec.
I haven't been on IG Live. I don't know. Ever.
Daughter.
Ever. This is like the first. You
And
guys got me
Hello.
on
sister.
you guys got me on IG Live. What's going
We
on?
got you on IG Live for the cause. For the
Mm-hmm.
In the
cause.
car. Traffic.
And this one's in the car. And you two, a really nice thing is that both of you just got off planes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for this conversation. So, full disclosure, I'm late because Andrea, my cousin Andrea, it's her birthday
Hey!
today.
Oh,
Everybody
It's your
wish
birthday,
her
make some
happy
happy
birthday.
birthday. And Tabitha, my
Tabitha.
daughter.
noise! Oh,
So
everybody got massages?
we got three massages.
Woo!
Okay.
Three
And
without
my
me.
masseuse
I know, that's what I didn't want to say
without
it, Joe.
you.
I didn't want to say it.
And my masseuse was going in, and I was all relaxed, super relaxed. And then I, got off the table and I looked up and I was like, what the actual F? It is 4 o'clock. So, yeah, so we had to I had to get dressed and whatever. And anyway, here we are. Here we are. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for wishing my cousin a happy birthday, Pegasus. Let's see who's on here. Happy Friday, everybody. Uh, Claudette Spencer, my goodness, how are you? Okay, so let me set this up and talk about what we're going to do today, and then we're going to get right into it. So I'm Lisane Basquiat, as you all know, and hey, Tamina, and Jessica and Joseph are my children, and so I'm catching my breath, y'all, because I just had a massage, and to go from 0 to 200 makes no sense. It makes no sense. Huh. So let's all take a little breath here. Anyway, so what we're doing is we decided that for those of you who follow me, and you see a lot of me and my children and my grandchildren, and we have, I think, a really healthy relationship. And a lot of the work that I do through the Shaping Freedom framework is about family legacy. It's very, very, very important to me. And since I was a little girl, I've always just intuitively looked at family systems and the ways that people interact with each other within family, because I believed then, before I could put words to it, and continue to believe that how we operate, how we roam the earth is a reflection of the relationship that we're in with ourselves, that we learn through the family systems that we were brought up within. And I think that so many of the problems and challenges that we as human beings have with each other, and if you know someone that you know needs to hear this conversation, please tell them to get themselves into this live. Um, a lot of the issues that people have in relationships, in romantic relationships, in friendships, in their work situations, really come from what has happened, what they have learned about life, about themselves, about the relationship with themselves. Sometimes people don't even realize that they're in a relationship with themselves. And so, what I want to do here is I want us to talk a little bit about that. And I figured the best way to do that, or a great way to do that, would be to get my own kids on here so that we can talk about it. Now, I will just say this before we get into it, and before I let Jessica and Joseph kind of like give you like a little bit of context about their lives and where they are in their lives, you know, from a parenting and all that perspective. I will say this. In addition to this, I am also someone who has over 20 years of corporate experience at the leadership level. I've been a certified coach for many, many years. I am an advanced theta practitioner. I'm also an advanced teacher of neurolinguistic programming, which speaks to the ways that we use language to program ourselves and each other. I also teach it. And I've done a ton of things around human behavior. So this isn't just something that I jumped up one day and decided, oh, I know, I'm just going to hop up and start telling people what to do. I'm not a therapist, but I have very deep experience and have done the work to make sure that I know what I'm talking about as it relates to family systems and the ways that we interact with each other. In school, I studied cultural anthropology, and so a lot of what I do is informed also by systems and families and culture and all that. So I just want to kind of throw that out there for a moment. And I will say that there was a time in my life when it of how I was showing up in the world, I started to see and notice that what I wanted was very different from how I was showing up, and that a lot of the behaviors that I had were taking me away from the very thing that I wanted, which was a closer relationship with my family, which was healthy children, which was to create and be in safe space with my family. So I just wanted to give that context. Thank you all for listening to that, because I just wanted you all to understand that how important this is, how important this work is to me. And it's important to me because we're so busy in this world defending ourselves and wanting to not feel the discomfort of the truth telling that we have to do with ourselves. So I'll stop for a moment so I can drink a little bit of water because I just had a massage. And um, so Joseph and Jessica, whichever one of you wants to go first, where are you? Where are you in your journey in terms of your own families? And let's start there, and then we'll get into it. And for those of you who are on the live, and thank you all so much for being here. And again, if you know people that could benefit from a conversation about family culture, the quality of family culture, please let them know that we're live. We'll be on for, I don't know, about 25 minutes or so. Uh, so, um,
I'll go
whichever one
first.
of you wants to go first. Let's do it.
I am a father of a 19-year-old young man. And on a scale from a 0 to 100, how happy I am being a father is probably in the thousands. Um, wasn't an easy journey. And the reason that I think at first when you have kids, it seems like everything's going to be. Then I think you have a moment with yourself where you want to do things for your kid. You want to do better things for your kid, and I felt that's what I've done with my son, which was created a tight bond with him that would be long lasting. And I had to work on myself to make sure that so that I could work with him. And yeah, it's been a long journey, but it's been worth every step of it. And yeah, that's where I'm at with my son.
Can you explain a little bit more? And oh, I know what I was going to say to you all now that I'm hydrating and my brain's starting to fire again. If you have questions, throw them in the chat and we'll try to answer as many of them as we can. Your challenges, the things that you want that you're having difficulty getting to in your own parenting or in your relationship with your parents or any of that. Throw them in the chat, please, and we'll absolutely go through them. But Joseph, what you said is that you needed to do the work on yourself, I think is what you said, so that you could get to him. Can you explain that? What do you mean by that? What
I
happened?
think
What does that mean?
I think initially as a parent, it's like I'm the parent, you're the kid. Shut up. That's
Yeah.
literally like I think that's kind of how it starts, and then um, if you're really trying to shape the future, then you want to break that, and you want to break it so that it's not his opinion matters too. You know, my opinion matters too, and we both can have respectable. We can treat things respectably to each other. Uh, I learned something from my son one day. I've learned so much from my son by him being able to just be open with me and tell me what's wrong, and then he could point things out about me that I never probably would have ever dealt with. But I wanted to deal with him in a certain way. So by working on me and dealing with that, it was easier for me to deal with him.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
good because when you take that step back, you let your kid make their own decisions and learn how to be confident in making their own decisions instead of just going for whatever you say to do. They know how to do things on their own.
Which is what this work is.
Mhm. Hmm.
Yeah. So Jessica, like, to give a little bit of context about you.
I'm Jessica. I have a almost 9-year old, a third grader. I can't believe it. I am mothering on my own, and it's been an interesting journey. Emma is so smart. She thinks she is older than me. She thinks that she thinks that you and her are both my mothers. So
Yes, we are.
so it's a very interesting dynamic, like watching her be so independent, but at the same time, she's still like just a little baby and letting her find her own way, but still figuring out how to guide her. It's interesting. Nine, almost nine is a definitely a turning point. It's like you almost
It
have a
is.
teenager, but you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like just past those first 7 years. And those first 7 years are so important because, and I talked about this with, I recorded a bunch of podcast interviews yesterday. And during one of those conversations with a gentleman named Malcolm Relaford. So you all find him and follow him because he's amazing. And what we talked about, he wrote this book. And one of the things that we talked about was how we get programmed when we're in a relaxed state. And he was talking about it from the perspective of how, not jumping onto social media first thing in the morning because you're
Mhm.
kind of in this very receptive, relaxed state. So more of that information is getting in there. Um, and that's also true of parenting when children are very, very young, before they've had the opportunity to kind of form their own identity, they're just taking in all the things and they really are a sponge for everything that's happening around them. And so Emma is just coming out of that, those first 7 years. But I will say that she's amazing. So what
And
I
also,
don't want to
I
do,
was gonna say, because it's just
go ahead.
Emma and I, because of some decisions that I've made, I like watching her grow up in that relaxed state that may not
Mm,
have been her norm
mm-hmm,
otherwise.
mm-hmm.
So it's been,
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Very much. What I don't want to do, Jessica was super independent as a child, although
One
I don't know,
thousand percent.
E.
the
Harley,
boss.
I
I'm
don't
the
know.
boss. I'm the boss baby. My brother Joseph is 11 years older than me, and to this day, I'm like, no, twin. Like, I'm the big sister, twin.
You older than me.
I'm one day older, and he lets me
You
get
older
away
than
with
me.
it. 99.7% of the time, he lets me get away with it.
Because he's the older brother.
Hmm.
So what I don't want to do, or what I want us to be, what I want to be careful of, is I don't want to come on here like, where's the perfect family and everything's great. I don't want to do that. I really am thinking about those folks who, whether they're listening now or whether they're planning to listen to the replay, um, and then we're actually going to download this. I just decided this. I'm going to download this into the Standing on Boundaries Facebook group that we have so that we can kind of deepen the conversation later. But for now, um, what I want to talk about solutions for those folks who are looking for solutions, for those folks who are struggling and trying to figure it out, or who are challenged with how do I resolve my own childhood in the middle of having to parent someone else, or who are having struggles with being in good and healthy communication, or healthy communication with their own parents, because they're kind of dealing with what you described, Joseph, about like you got to do your own work so that you create a space for your children to feel safe enough to actually be in relationship with you, an authentic relationship with you, which is very different from I'm the mother and you got to do what I said for you to do. And I know that there has been, and I'll just throw myself out there, right? I was not, I did not come out of a family system that was like the family system that we've created. I did
Hmm.
not. I came out of a family system that was very much about right and wrong. You know, the parents right, you're wrong, just listen to me and your life will be perfect, even when it didn't make sense for me. I also came out of a family system that was very much guided by and disciplined through emotion. I also know that I was raised by a parent who was burnt out a lot of the time and stressed. And when you're in that state, you know, a lot, it's very difficult for you to create safe space for someone else because you haven't figured out how to create that for yourself. So I just want to make sure that I set that tone, um, because I'm not perfect,
So
right?
before I go, I
But
want to say one thing. I might have to put a
before you
filter.
go,
But no, no, no. Before I say my piece, I may have to put a filter on because Joseph is just golden hour glowing right now. I'm like, wait, I step by I
ah,
step it up. Just,
ah,
you look good, brother. You look good. um,
sibling, sibling rivalry, putting all the business out
And
there.
can I add on to what you said about the first step is knowing what's wrong. That's what I did get.
yeah,
Because you said that you didn't. A lot when we grow up, we just grow up. You don't grow up knowing what's right, knowing what's wrong until you step back and really go, oh, wait a minute, this is wrong. And this could either continue or this can affect, you know, the future if you don't get a grip on it now. So I think it's
That's right.
swallowing your pride for a second and accepting that something is wrong. And
which I'm terrible at, as you guys know. It's like the whole boundaries and accountability thing is new for me. I'll call myself, I was the not passive aggressive, I was aggressively passive.
Oh, wow. That's
I like
right.
that.
I
I
think
like
I was
that.
Right.
aggressively passive. So it wasn't until I got more comfortable, just like I can't just be mad and shut down, or I'm happy and I'm good. Recently, I started finding a better middle ground with you two, which has helped me in parenting also. Because I'm like, if I
Yeah.
can't just say, hey, like I'm overwhelmed, I need a minute, I didn't like that, I just need some time to myself to get it together. If I can't say that to you two, how am I going to raise a kid and expect her to say that? And how am I
That's
going to
right.
say that to her so that I get what I need while I'm parenting?
Right. And
So
so that you
setting
teach her to
boundaries.
speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Teach her to set boundaries by me being able to confidently and calmly set boundaries.
That's right. Because we're born being truth tellers. Most of us come onto this planet, into this lifetime saying, I don't like that. That hurts. That doesn't feel good. That brings me a lot of joy. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm afraid. And then you start to learn, depending on the family systems that you live within, how to shut down different parts of yourself.
And I had
So
this
you shut down the
conversation
part, yeah,
recently where
yeah. You
the
shut
same way
down the
how I'll
part of
shut
yourself
down the
that,
anger side, I'll shut down the I'm really excited about this. This happened. I'm so happy. Like both of them kind of got simmered down into this muddy middle.
that's right. And what happens when you're in that muddy middle?
Like with me personally, I
Yeah,
stopped talking to people. I'm kind of like mopey, but acting like I'm not mopey. It's kind of like my sunshine gets kind of taken away. I'm there. I'll still
Yeah.
try to be present, but it's not the same. Experiences that
Yeah.
should be great. Like usually if I'm in a good space, if something's like it could be the calmest day and I'm gonna have a ball. But when I'm in that space, it could be the greatest day and I'll just be sitting there just like mellowed out.
Yeah. I spent a few years in the muddy middle, uh, as I was raising you all, and it was during your teenage years.
Wait,
Joseph's
who?
late teenage years, Joseph's late teenage years, and your early teenage years, or you're 11 years apart. So whatever that means. Joseph was like 19.
You see,
Uh,
we all forget.
I'm just saying. And I was in that muddy middle where I knew that things weren't the way in my life, the way I wanted them to be. Um, and I knew that I was grappling, I was kind of overwhelmed with the parallel between grappling with changing things within myself and then also having to show up as a parent, because I realized, and I've always been abundantly aware, that my job as a parent was to get you all to adulthood in a healthy way.
Hmm.
And it was kind of that muddy middle place. I'm going to use that. I love that. That muddy middle place of like, I felt stuck. Like, how in the world am I supposed to help them when what about my childhood? What about the things I didn't have? What
Hmm.
about, the things that my loss, you know? Um, and I think Muddy Mill is different for a lot of people, but that's kind of how it showed. That's what resonated for me. Monica, I'm so happy you're on here. I was actually on Monica's podcast earlier this week. I don't know when the episode's coming out, but when it does, make sure y'all listen. Um,
Hey,
Can I add on?
Monica.
Can I add on to the muddy?
Yeah, what's your muddy
You're not
middle like?
you're not present. That's important. That's
Mm-mm.
what
no,
it is.
you can't
Every
be.
time I went through the muddy thing, it's like I would, if I was going through something in my life, and I think you try to be the perfect parent, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to him because I'm not feeling like the perfect parent. But then the time that you're spending avoiding facing what's going on, you're actually not present, and that's what I think is most
That's
important
right.
because you only get a certain amount of years here on this earth,
Yeah,
God willing.
that's
And
right.
then if you're not present for a day, you're really losing out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a day where you could have changed the world. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to add with the whole muddy. You don't perform. You're not showing up the way that you're supposed to show up, and you're not present. Yeah.
You know what's
Because
interesting though?
all of your energy is into survival. You got to get out of that mud. You're in quicksand. And that's why. And if all of your energy is focused on surviving, you cannot live from that space. You're just
It's
surviving. You're
it's
keeping the lights on.
It's funny because I'm thinking now about our relationship, the three of us. And I remember with both of you separately, the moment where I decided to get out of the muddy middle and just say how I feel, even if it's tough. I'm sad about this. This is bothering me. And the relief that came out of it and how
Yeah.
everything changed after that. I think it made me more human instead of like this mean robot. Like, it
Oh, you admitted
humanized
it.
our relationship. What?
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
admitting it. Yeah. Yeah. So, so give a little bit more context to what we're doing. We're going to have three conversations, is what we decided. We're going to have this conversation here, and in a moment, I think a little bit about like three things that each one of you or each one of us have learned about ourselves through parenting. And so we're having this conversation. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation. And we're going to have the second part of this conversation where we'll dive a little bit deeper. And if there are some topics that you all would love for us to cover, please stick them into the chat and we'll make sure to cover those topics. And then we're going to wrap it up with the third session, which is going to be in 2 weeks, I think on Wednesday. If you look at the captions, you'll see. And then we're going to end this little kind of mini series. I also, full disclosure, want to say that I'm running a session called Your Past is Your Present. And that the first of that session is going to happen on March 1st. And the purpose of that session, it's a really important learning for you if you choose to take it. And the reason you want to take this session is because, like Joseph said earlier, you can't heal what you refuse to see. And you can spend years resisting seeing. You can
Mm-hmm.
spend years wearing really dark glasses in a dark room and refusing to look at the mess that's happening in your life. Or you can just be willing to see things that maybe you were not able to see previously. And so the purpose of this session, Your Past is Your Present, is to walk you through a process that I developed and a framework that I developed that will help a person, whether you're a parent, whether you're a colleague, whether you're struggling with your relationship within your own family, with your siblings, with your parents, with whomever, with your children. Um, a framework that'll help you to look to see how your past is impacting your present situation. And that goes two ways, right? The fact that we have and are setting this, what I believe to be an amazing foundation for Emma and Xavier, is because of the work that was done in the past. Your past is always in your present. If you want to know how things are going, you look at how things are today, and you look at what you poured into the situation, whatever the situation is. If you're in a shitty relationship, romantic relationship, look at what happened in the past for an indicator as to how you wound up in the present. And once you're willing to do that, you can actually take the steps to figure out what to do to change it. But that comes later. First, you got to be willing to see. And so that's what the session, Your Past is Your Present, is about. Go to the Shaping Freedom website, sign up for it if that's something that you know your family needs, a solution that you know your family needs. Um, yeah. Okay. So, three things that parenting has taught you.
Patience, patience,
Mm.
patience. I mean, that's still number one, but patience. Um, should I explain why I chose the three, or just give you the three? I chose
Whatever,
patience.
whatever.
I chose patience because I couldn't see the future. So I would react like everything is bad, ah, not thinking that there will actually be a future where things would be different. That's something that my mom
Mm.
always embedded in my head. Things will be different down the line. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you have that patience and you realize that, everything just kind of flows towards that. Another thing that I learned as a parent is reflection. Looking at my damn self sometimes, you know what I mean, and getting that chance to kind of just look at what I'm doing, and not reflecting in the moment, but those moments when your brain is drilling you on you, really looking at myself. Third thing, uh, the third thing that I learned being a parent, I want to say is um, longevity. And the reason I'm gonna say longevity is because you're a parent forever. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just stop being a parent one day. You're a parent forever. So knowing that, it means that you always have a chance to kind of fix things. Things that aren't right, and there's always time. So yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Jazz?
I'm gonna steal yours, Joe, but I'll try not to. Communication. I learned much better communication. Patience as well. One day it dawned on me that this little human knew nothing one day. So
Mm.
something, you know how like back in the day it's like that's a stupid question. I'm like, there really is. They meant it when they said there is no stupid question. Like this person didn't know how to drink water. And this is a
Mm.
human. So whatever this person doesn't know, if they continue to not know it and I was able to teach them and I chose not to, that is my issue no
Mm.
matter what.
That's right.
On one hand, that's a huge responsibility. It's a blessing and I've made it as fun as possible in different ways. And I'm not saying I have patience all the time because sometimes I'm like, girl, you know the answer. Why are you bothering me if I'm tired? But it taught me a lot about how I react based on how I'm feeling. So it could have nothing to do with somebody else sometimes. Sometimes it's all just me, how I'm feeling. And I could react more harshly than usual just because of that. So I've been more aware
That's
of
right.
that, more aware of my
That's
output. And then parenting has also taught me, maybe I think that's three.
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you have. Um, so the three
I like
three
that.
things that I
What
Mhm.
Couples
right?
Unfiltered just said. No, what she just said is nice.
Oh,
Your
Natalie, your
kids don't
kids do
do
not
not
have your
have your
parents.
parents.
Thank you for bringing that up. That is exactly the truth that so many people do not understand. So
Yeah.
often, um, I'm actually going to riff on that a little bit. So often we parent based on our own situation, but that kid was not there. So we jump in and we do this with relationships too. You have a relationship with someone, that person never took you to for sushi. You want sushi. You get into the next relationship, you base the relationship on your need for sushi and don't
Hmm.
see anything else, right?
Hmm.
And so, and it's the same thing with parenting. Like your parents never let you go to the park. So now your goal is to get your kids into the park every single day. And so you
Your
miss
kid
all
don't
these
even
other
like the
things.
park.
The kid doesn't even like the park. And you're creating this whole world for this kid that has nothing to do with that kid and everything to do with you being in a place of loss, right? Um, okay. Thank you for that, Natalie. Um, Couples Unfiltered also has a podcast, so you will look that up and listen.
Hmm.
Okay, so three things that I've learned as a parent, parenting you two amazing human beings. One, I learned that my shit did indeed stink and that I needed to do something about it. And how did I learn that? I learned that because I saw the fruit of my behaviors. You all, I had to fight you to get you to even hear what I had to say because I had not and did not know how to create a safe space for open communication, even when it hurt, even when you were telling me something I didn't want to hear. So that there's that. The second thing that I've learned parenting you two is how important joy is as a value within a family. And that it's not about, yes, it's about providing for you and putting a roof over your head and blah, 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 and all those things that are very important. Um, but the importance of creating joy within the family so that we can get to enjoy life together, so we can enjoy the experience of life together. Um, you all help me to understand that and to understand how valuable that is. And then the third thing, I didn't prepare for this, so I'm thinking out loud. The third thing that you all taught me, or that being your parent has taught me, is that I'm capable of making something out of nothing.
Hmm.
I did not grow up. My mother and I had a very close relationship, but I did not grow up with my mother. My father was my primary parent. So I didn't have a model that so many other people um, that I knew as I was growing up had, where I would go to their home and they had a mother in the house. And so they had someone to talk to about their period or about boys or about the things that a woman, a mother gets to talk to her daughter about and vice versa. And so that didn't matter because I had kids that I had to raise. And I had Joseph at a very young age. I was 18 years old when I had Joseph. And I had to create something out of nothing. I had to create something from nothing. And what I learned is that I could. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Very.
You don't see it
So
when you're in it.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so before we break this one, because I just had a massage and I want to go drink water. Um, and we'll talk more in
I just
the next
landed
few.
on the East Coast. I got
I
some
know you are
soul
tired.
food. I got some soul food waiting for me.
I know we don't want it to get cold. So before we go, let's just one thing that I do want to share because I want to make sure that this is of value to folks who are looking for solutions. One bit of advice that we each have for a parent who might be struggling with a kid that is of the age that our respective children are in. Whoever
Um,
wants to go first.
you're not alone. I think sometimes I remember when my son was young, and I remember this day vividly. He was not stop crying. Like I don't know what, and I felt that. Ah, I felt it, But I felt it. I put him down for a second, and I thought about the fact that I had a neighbor who had a kid as well. Put him down. I heard the neighbor's baby cry. I realized I'm not the only one up at
Mm,
night trying to put my kid to sleep. He won't go to sleep. So, yeah, you're not alone. It's I think all parents around the world united on that because you have a room full of parents. We're all going to connect on that. But I think when you realize you're not alone, it's easier to kind of deal with things.
yeah. Okay.
Um,
Jess.
Seek interest in what your kid is interested in. Because
Mm,
with that, your kid will open up to you more. You find more ways to relate. And with that comes other conversations about what's going on because it creates more of a safe space. The kid is safe to be themselves and like what they like around somebody that cares. It's kind of like, what do they call it? The bird theory or whatever. I forgot what actress it was. And she told her man, like, yeah, I saw this really nice tree. And he was like, what? Okay, whatever. And brushed it off. And she dumped him after that. Because why wouldn't you
I don't
ask me
know.
like what kind of tree? What did it look like? That those type of things. So if you would want
Curiosity and
that,
interest. Yeah.
exactly. If you would want that in a relationship, you should give that to your kid. That way you both connect in that way. And that way your kid expects to receive that from people that they're in friendships and relationships with down the line.
Yeah. That's good. Um, okay. My piece of advice is who's this trying to get it? Is Joseph? I don't know who. No. My piece of advice is this. Um, create a safe space for your kids. And you know whether your space is safe or not. And the way you know whether the space is safe or not is who's doing all the talking.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to force your ideas upon that person? Can that person come to you when they're raggedy? Can your child come to you when you're raggedy? Um, can your child make mistakes and still feel like they're worthy of your love and of your attention and of your compassion? Um, create a safe space. And if you don't know how to create a safe space, if even if the words aren't resonating, if the words are resonating with what you know you need to do, and if you don't know how to get to that place of creating safety, do the work. That is not an excuse. You not knowing is not an excuse. Figure it out. Get support. Come to my programs. If my programs don't resonate with you, that's cool. Go to somebody else's, read a book, listen to a podcast. But not knowing is no excuse for transmitting your emotional boogers onto this child, because that child will take that and they will transmit those emotional boogers onto their children and onto the people they work with and onto the people that they're trying to be in relationship with. So if you know that there's something that's not right, be the last person in your family to have experienced that, because when you do that, you will wind up, which is what I am very proud of. There are things that Emma and Xavier don't know anything about, are not nowhere a part of their lives, things that were very prevalent in my own childhood. So, emotions, emotional health, and mental health we spread that the same way that a person sneezes and spreads that, spreads, a cold or the flu or whatever to someone else. Be aware of that and do your work. Have the balls to do your work.
If
Don't
I'm
not do
brushing
the
stuff
work
under the rug,
and
that
throw it
rug
on
is
somebody
lumpy.
else. That rug is lumpy as hell. Those elephants are bopping people up in the head. So many people are living right now today, and some of those folks who are watching this video are in a room with a lumpy, bumpy carpet and elephants bopping all over in the room. You can't even breathe in the space because there's so much going on. That's not a judgment. It's an opportunity for you to change your family legacy, to change your family's life. And what a beautiful gift to give as an ancestor, as a living ancestor, eventual ancestor. So I love y'all.
Love you
Baby.
too. Love
This
y'all
was
too.
good. This is good. Joe, I'm going to see you in a couple of minutes. Jessica, eat your soul food. And so we're going to do this again next week. Okay, we're
Next week.
doing 3 of them. In the
So
meantime,
hang.
your past is your present. If you know you need to do this work, sign up for that workshop. It's priced at a very accessible level. We're going to get in, we're going to figure it out. I'm going to help you all to see some things as the first step to actually change. You can change your family legacy. Believe me. Okay? All right. All right, y'all.
Love
Thank
y'all.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.